All right, everyone, welcome. This is Rob Allen with 7 Minutes of Control. This is our inaugural video cast, which will eventually be an audio podcast. So the way this is going to work is essentially we're going to come on and give you relevant information, mostly related to product information and stuff that you can use out in your job as a controls contractor or controls salesperson. Our content's always going to be 7 minutes or less, so we'll have a quick intro and outro and things like that. The content itself will never be longer than 7 minutes. Occasionally we may run into some extra time, but it'll be well worth it. So today on the show I have the two biggest brains in the industry, Michael Bonner and Steven Smitherman, and we're going to talk to you about what to expect with Niagara 3.8. Steven's made some excellent notes and given 3.8 a thorough rundown, and we're going to go ahead and get the timer rolling. And going to go ahead and turn it over to Steven. So, Steven, tell us what to expect with Niagara 3.8.
Hey, Rob. Hey, Mike. Just a quick couple of run-throughs with some things that I'm sure our viewers and listeners would like to hear about with the 3.8 update. So it looks like some of the biggest stuff coming for 3.8 is going to be Windows 8 and Windows Server 2012 support, starting to catch up with what Windows has to offer here. Some of the other things they're going to do is enhancements towards security, password protection, and connection security, such as password management. You're not going to be required to have 10 digits to your password with an upper lowercase and then a number as well, and that's going to be a default. Same thing's going to happen with the SSL connection is going to lead to a default. So I know it's going to be a little bit of a trick to get people used to the new secure enhancements, but in the long run it's going to be pretty good for everybody. Another security tweak here is going to be the Niagara guest account. Everybody's gotten kind of used to this being out there hanging out on the Jace, and now that's going to be not necessarily, it's going to be disabled by default. You may have to contact Tritium to re-enable that. Details are a little fuzzy on how that's going to come out, but it looks like it's going to come disabled on the field controllers, and that'll improve a level of security as well. Another thing that's going to happen is in the app director.
Hop in there real quick on that password thing, and something me being the most novice technically, I've always heard the direction going into, more security and the elimination of the default password, and now you're saying that there's some stuff where you're actually going to have less password. Did I hear that right? Or
No, you're going to have to make it longer. In previous versions, it was required to have 8 characters. Now it's going to be 10, along with uppercase, lowercase, and a number. And if you leave it as a default, every time you load the app director, it's now going to list in big print up at the top that you have left it as a default, and it's going to suggest that you change it in the app director going forward. So I guess it's a kind of a way to remind you to change it away from the defaults. All this is good stuff. Guys kind of need to get away from leaving it as defaults anyway. I know it's easy and everything like that, but security is really starting to ramp up as Tritium becomes more and more popular. So
very cool.
That's kind of what I meant by that.
I saw a screenshot where you can actually change the number of letters it requires. Gives you some.
Oh yeah. No. This is all just the default. The actual thing is still going to allow you to change it. Of course, you can leave it at no password, or you can maximize it or minimize the number. That's all changeable in the settings now, as well as how many upper and lowercase letters and numbers. They give you full customization basically of your password capabilities. So all that's going to be pretty neat going forward. Or you can disable it and leave it as defaults. So all that coming forward is going to be pretty good. They also jumped to a 2-step login process, so now you won't necessarily have to show login and password into the station. That'll be kind of like a separate window where you confirm your connection type is either SSL as the default or the traditional just regular way of logging in, and then it'll ask you for a username and password. So I know it's going to kind of confuse a couple of people to start, but in the end, it's all in the name of better security. So
awesome, yeah, sounds great. Well, we're 3.5 minutes into our content, so what else you got for us? Excellent.
Okay, so skipping ahead, we're going to go ahead and go to what they've kind of done with the graphics. Mobile graphics have been streamlined a little bit, and they've added a couple extra features. It's actually going to scale a lot easier now. So if you've got different size mobile screens, it's going to automatically it's automatically going to stretch and skew with these vector graphics support. So The toolkit's going to allow you to design and scale just a single graphic to fit any size screen, and if you shrink and enlarge the screen, the graphics will stretch with it, and that's something that's been kind of missing from the stock Tritium graphics set there. So that's going to be great. Same thing with mobile functions. You're going to be able to go in there and you're going to be able to decide how much of the mobile page stays on the device that's looking at it. You can set it to a lot so that it loads quicker every time they access it for people that are frequently accessing from their iPads, or you can have it to where it reloads the graphics every time, and it's a little bit more memory intensive, but it keeps everything off the account. So you're basically controlling your cache on that.
I like the thing about the screen. That's something that I know that Michael and I actually had a conversation about at lunch today. So that's going to be pretty cool.
Yep. Another thing they're going to do is data management. They've got a new filter node kind of query that'll allow you to say search for all set points above 70 degrees or all pressures, all outside temps, anything along those lines that you can think of. It'll allow you to do a VQL query against any of the nodes, push it all out. So like real-time graphs or history graphs, trends and all that stuff be a little bit easier to manage, and you can all set it up in advance. You're not necessarily scrolling through post data. You can have it go as you go. So we've seen this kind of stuff from third-party overlays onto Tritium, and this is starting to be something that's being fixed and being provided straight out of the box, and that's a great thing as well. There's a couple other little things, but one thing I want to mention real quick before we go for our Honeywell guys out there, they're going to be integrating the package. So you're talking about your Spider, Striker, Venom tools, all that's going to be installed with the core software. Honeywell's kind of bundling it all together for you, so you don't have to go out to the buildings forum or worry about if you have the latest and greatest version. They're going to have it all together for you as an integrated package straight out of the box for 3.8. That's going to be great for you guys to keep it kind of a little bit easier to manage. So there are a couple other things that they've done for the sake of security and all that. So all in all, not a whole lot of major changes, just a lot of stuff that needed to come along, especially Windows 8 and Windows Server 2012. That was a big thing for a lot of guys running servers. So
very cool. So you got about 30 seconds left. We have to wrap up. What's the best thing? What is it that everybody should be looking for?
I think everybody should be looking to see more mobile graphics coming. Now that it's made it a lot easier with stretch and skew, I think we're going to see it being a lot more popular. Guys like to walk around with their iPads and show it off, and this is going to make it that much easier. So a lot of time-saving tips in here, a lot of little things they're doing to make it easier.
Awesome. Well, hey, guys, we did it. 7 minutes or less. Mike, I'm going to let you do the 30-second wrap-up. So come on in. You got 30 seconds. Bring us home, baby.
Well, I think you're going in the right direction with this, but we definitely need to, make sure you test this on your smaller projects, not your big high-profile projects. Let's make sure they get all the bugs worked out.
Very good. Well, hey, not too bad for a first go-around. You guys give us about 4 or 5 of these things, and we're going to knock it out of the park. We're always going to bring you relevant content, and it's always going to be 7 minutes or less. Thanks so much, guys. Talk to you soon.